See, in chapter 6, Anthropological Theories, different scholars have put forward their views in the study of human society, culture, and behavior. And the difference in opinion in understanding or explaining these things led to different schools of thought. It is not a new thing, right from Greek historians like Aristotle or Herodotus, Aristotle, people were always curious to know how different socio-cultural institutions came into picture, how marriage came into picture, why this custom, why that tradition, so on and so forth. So, in a quest to understand the society, culture and behavior, different scholars have put forward their views, and difference in opinion led to different schools of thought. So, the major landmark event behind origin of this anthropological theories is 1859, when Charles Darwin has given his theory of natural selection. Social scientists also started thinking about how society and culture would have come into existence, and that laid the foundation for the first school of thought, which is classical evolutionism. You get to remember, and then from there onwards, number of other views and opinions also have come, which finally resulted in several anthropological theories. So, write couple of lines. Greek philosophers like Herodotus, Aristotle, etc. always try to understand how various socio-cultural institutions like marriage, family, political organizations, etc. came into existence. In 1859, when Charles Darwin has proposed his theory of natural selection, social scientists started thinking about how culture and society originated and progressed. This laid the foundation for the first school of thought, which is evolutionism. Which led first school of thought, classical evolutionism. First school of thought, classical evolutionism. In response to this school of thought, Many other theories were put forward due to lack of consensus. These anthropological theories try to understand and explain try to understand and explain human society, culture and behavior. So as I said, the first one, evolutionism. See this evolutionism, the oldest one is classical evolutionism and the new one is neo-evolutionism. See this ideology of evolution or evolutionism can be seen from two aspects. One is biological aspect and the cultural aspect. So evolution can be biological and evolution can be socio-cultural. So this socio-cultural evolution is what this particular thing refers to. And biological evolution we study in biological anthropology. So what is biological evolution? Slow and gradual changes in the structure or form of an organism leading to the formation of a new species can be called as biological evolution. Then what is socio-cultural evolution? Slow and gradual changes that take place in various socio-cultural institutions over a period of time can be referred to as socio-cultural evolution. So please, you kept the heading evolutionism, put the heading evolutionism. In there you write some introduction. Evolution has two aspects. One is biological evolution and the second one is socio-cultural evolution. Slow and gradual changes that occur in structure and form of an organism over a period of time is known as biological evolution or organic evolution, which leads to the formation of a new species. Slow and gradual changes that occur in manifold aspects of culture, like technology, economy, social institutions, art and literature is referred to as socio-cultural evolution. The idea of evolutionism was first proposed by E.B. Tylor, L.H. Morgan, R.R. Marrett, James Frazer, and others. Now draw this table. Evolutionism, two schools of thought are there. One is a classical evolutionism, which came into existence in 19th century, and neo evolutionism, which is the modern school, which came into existence in 20th century. So classical evolutionism is old school of thought, and neo evolutionism is new school of thought. See, in classical evolutionism, there are different schools of thought, like Britain school of thought or British school of thought, Edward Burnett Tylor, R.R. Marrett, James Frazer belongs to this school. You also have a German school. Anyway, this is not in our syllabus. They have Adolf Bastian and J.J. Bachofen. American school, you have L.H. Morgan, Lewis Henry Morgan. In neo-evolutionism also, you can classify a neo-evolutionism based on nationalities into Britain and American. To maintain consistency, I am writing Britain and American. You can classify that into universalism, multilinearism, and general and specific. But just for consistency purpose, Britain or British school of thought. You have Gordon V. Child, and in American school of thought, you have Leslie Alvin White, Julian Stewart, Then you have Marshall Sahlins and Elman surveys. This you have taken down. Now we can see classical evolutionism. In classical evolutionism, you see the features of classical evolutionism. See, some important features are unilinear sequence, direction of cultural evolution, historical method and comparative method, we have psychic unity of mankind, and parallel inventions. Then you have cultural survivals. Please draw this one. Which one? Parallel inventions. Parallel inventions. So now we'll elaborate. Yes. So, we will elaborate these points and we will finish off the features of classical evolution. So, please write point number 1. So, in features, or you can write salient features or postulates, all these are one and the same. You get my point. First one, point number 1. Human culture as a whole, or various socio-cultural institutions evolve in a unilinear sequence one after the other in the following stages. So these are the same. Savagery replaced by barbarism, barbarism replaced by civilization. So this savagery is the first stage of cultural evolution, and barbarism is the middle stage, and civilization is the final stage. And this civilization is considered as most evolved form of culture. This savagery can also be equated with Stone Age. Barbarism can be equated with Bronze Age, and civilization can be equated with Iron Age. The Stone Age is nothing but what? Prehistoric stage. So this is unilinear sequence. That means one stage replaced by another stage of culture. This stage replaced by another one. So human being or human societies all over the world underwent these three stages of cultural development: savagery, barbarism, and civilization. So this is the first stage or the most primitive stage. This is the middle stage, and this is the final stage, which is the most recent stage. You get my point? Next point, point number 2. Direction of cultural evolution is always from simple to complex or indefinite to definite, similar to dissimilar, homogeneity to heterogeneity. So, in the process of cultural development, what happens? Simple societies become complex society, or simple culture becomes a complex culture, and this is third one. See, these different stages of cultural development, that is savagery, barbarism and civilization, can be established by studying history of various societies and comparing them. So, historical and comparative method. So, third point, please write. Different stages of culture can be established by means of historical method and comparative method. Fourth one, similarities in culture is due to psychic unity of mankind and parallel inventions. See, psychic unity is nothing but psychological unity. Because of that psychological unity only, people irrespective of contact, they think and behave in the same manner, and as a result they actually end up with similar cultures, or they often find solutions to their existing problems in similar manner. This is a concept which was given by Adolphe Bastien, and then Adolphe Bastien gave it to Franz Boas, and Franz Boas popularized it among his students. This psychological unity also influenced Radcliffe Brown and Julian Stewart, and this psychic unity of mankind laid the foundation for this classical school of evolutionism, which refers to basic psychological and cognitive makeup of all human beings. So, all human beings are having this psychic unity, and that is why irrespective of religion, region, ethnicity, race, or maybe any other thing, people are coming up with similar cultures. You get my point? And there is proof for psychic unity of mankind in the form of parallel inventions. Like, say for example, you take natural selection. Not only Charles Darwin but also Alfred Russel Wallace, who was working in Malayan archipelago, also shared the same opinions on natural selection. Likewise, there are many things, like say for example you take zero. Zero was invented in India, Babylonia and Maya. So again, this is an example of psychic unity. Irrespective of contact, people coming up with similar things is because of psychic unity, and that similar things are nothing but parallel inventions. These can also be referred to as cultural parallels. You getting my point? Fourth point you have written psychic unity of mankind. So put the side heading under psychic unity of mankind. You have one more point. We will try to elaborate on psychic unity. Put the side heading psychic unity of mankind. This was a concept given by Adolf Bastian, which laid the foundation for classical evolutionism. Adolf Bastian is considered as father of German anthropology. He gave this concept to Franz Boas, German anthropology. He gave this concept to Franz Boas, and Franz Boas in turn popularized this concept among his students. This concept also later influenced Radcliffe Brown, and Julian Stewart. Next, psychic unity of mankind is all human beings share some basic psychological and cognitive makeup. All human beings have basic psychological and cognitive makeup. Irrespective of region, religion, ethnicity, race, etc. Because of psychic unity of mankind, people have similar cultural traits. Cultural traits. Parallel inventions are a proof for psychic unity of mankind. For example, zero was invented by India, Maya and Babylonia simultaneously. India, Mayan society and Babylonia simultaneously. William Ogburn and Dorothy Thomas. William Ogburn and Dorothy Thomas in 1922 enlisted 148 such parallel inventions. 148 such parallel inventions. Some examples you can write. Calculus was discovered by Newton and Leibniz simultaneously. Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace shared similar views on natural selection and evolution. Charles Cross and Louis Duhran invented color photography simultaneously. Color photography. Similarly, there were 6 claimants for thermometer, 9 claimants for telescope, typewriting machine was invented simultaneously in England and US, etc. You get my point? You understood psychic unity of mankind? Fifth point. At higher stages of cultural development, some earlier forms of culture are found. Earlier forms of culture are found which are known as cultural survivals. These cultural survivals indicate the conditions and practices in past times. See, cultural survivals are nothing but those which have stood the test of time. So, say for example, you take pottery. Pots came into existence in Neolithic times. Even today, you can find these pots, isn't it? That's all. That means from here to here, even you can take stone grinders. You have seen any stone grinder like this? Or maybe stone grinders for making batters, or maybe crushing chilies, or even you can take mortar and pestle that you see in laboratories and other things. So stone grinders also came in Neolithic time only. You can also see them today. So what are these? These are nothing but cultural survivals. So cultural survivals are those which stood the test of time. Whether they are significant or not, we can't say. May or may not be, but they have retained them. Whether they have significant role or not, we can't say. According to, here only right, according to John Ferguson McLennan, a Scottish evolutionist, John Ferguson McLennan, a Scottish evolutionist, cultural survivals are, write in quotations, symbolic forms of cultural survivals are, write in quotations, symbolic forms of earlier customs. Getting my point? Customs. So these are the salient features of classical evolutionism. Now, this one more time you write this classical evolutionism. Please write. Classical evolutionism is classified into the following schools of thought: Britain or British School of Thought, E.B. Tylor, R.R. Marriott, James Frazer. Please draw this table just one more time. American, L.H. Morgan. So we'll focus our discussion on E.B. Tylor and L.H. Morgan. So put the side heading Edward Barnett Tylor. Was born in 1832 and survived till 1917. So please, he is a British classical evolutionist. He was only an undergraduate, but later became lecturer. Reader and professor at Oxford University. He was the first person to chair in anthropology department. In the entire world, if you want. In 1884, first anthropology department, anthropology as a subject, came into existence in Oxford University. That means before 1884 there is no subject like anthropology. And this is the first person who actually is a lecturer. And as I said, all these people, because before 1884 there is no anthropology, obviously they did not study anthropology. They started making others study anthropology. You get my point? In 1856, he witnessed an exploration at Mexico. And in 1861, he has written a book, Mexico and the Mexicans. Mexico and the Mexicans. In 1865, in his book, Researches into Early History of Mankind and Development of Civilization, Researches into Early History of Mankind and Development of Civilization, he gave his evolutionary scheme of culture in which he envisaged that culture developed in three stages: savagery, barbarism, and civilization. In 1871, he has written a book, Primitive Culture. Primitive culture, in which he defined culture as that complex whole which includes knowledge, is that complex whole, WHOL, whole, that includes knowledge, arts, belief, laws, morals, customs, and any other capabilities and habits acquired by man as a member of society. You getting my point? So this is about E.V. Tylor. His evolutionary theory, or his classical evolutionism theory, is considered as a historical, evolutionary, holistic, conceptual methodology. He is also referred to as the father of cultural anthropology, sometimes modern anthropology. There are so many fathers and mothers in anthropology. So his focus was on cultural evolution, that culture evolved in these three stages: savagery, barbarism, and civilization. Shall we complete this one, or complete? Please write. E.V. Tylor's classical evolutionism is a cultural, historical, holistic, evolutionary, conceptual methodology. So stages of culture, then features of the culture. So first stage, savagery. See, in savagery, man was a food gatherer, hunter, and nomadic. Total life was spent on food collection, and making crude rock or stone tools. So these are the features of savagery. Barbarism. In barbarism, the features include domestication of plants and animals. So domestication of plants and animals led to agriculture, and pastoralism, and and as a result villages came into existence. Next one, civilization. In civilization, alphabets, script, and literature came into existence. These villages became towns and cities. Trade and commerce flourished. Some scientific and technological advancements took place. Is done. See, he has also given his opinions on marriage and family. Please write. His views on marriage and family are as follows: irregular or promiscuous sex, which was replaced by fraternal polyandry. Fraternal polyandry was replaced by polygyny, and polygyny was replaced by monogamy. And this, because of polygyny only, there is patriarchy in several societies. And these views don't match it with them. We write separately views on marriage and family, isn't it? Now next, you're done with this one. His evolutionary scheme of irregular or promiscuous sex. Promiscuous. His evolutionary account of religion what? Animism replaced by fetishism replaced by belief in demons. Belief in demons replaced by polytheism. Polytheism was replaced by monotheism. You get my point? So this is about E.B. Tylor's classical evolution. Remaining things we'll see in next class. Today's question you write. Explain various types of or various methods of data collection. Explain various methods of data collection. 20 marks. This weekend test would be 7 and 8. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much.